All right, everybody. I'm a professional music artist. I go by Pharaoh Joe. I listened to all three of these Drake albums today. I didn't know Drake put out three albums. I had no clue. I went into this originally thinking that he was only putting out Iceman. So I did a whole review. I went song by song. I got plenty of notes here that we can talk about. I guess we'll get right into it. So, Make Them Cry, bro. I say it right here. You can read it right here. It really sounds like he's reading a book, dude. It was so boring. If you go back and listen to that song, sit there and imagine him holding a book in his hands. This was an audio book ass song. I put that I put that in this tweet as well. I hated this song, bro. It sounded so boring, and the lyrics were good, but damn, he just like it just sounded like he's reading. It was annoying as fuck. Number two, we got Dust. I actually really like this song. This was before I realized that the entire song was going to be discussing this friggin' beef. I didn't know he was going to talk about the beef the whole time. So when I heard this song, I thought he was addressing the beef real quick, and then going to move on. And I thought he was going crazy. He spazzed. He was flowing. He was rapping. He was singing. All of it was good sounding. Everything was good here. So, I had really fond experiences with this song. And then I started to realize that the album had a theme that recurs too many times. So we'll get to that later. Just wait. Whisper My Name, bro. This beat was heavenly. The first half of this beat, I think it switches in the middle. I don't remember, but the first half of this beat was amazing. I don't think Drake did it justice. I don't think he has a good voice or flow for this. He had to try to kind of sound like somebody else for it to sound even remotely good. And I just feel like, oh man, a better artist on this would have went crazy. It would have been awesome. I personally just didn't see Drake on this beat, and it just didn't work in my opinion. It's a 1 for 3 so far. Song number 4 was Janice, Shut the Fuck Up. I don't know why it's named this. There was a sample in it that said it, I think. It's a funny name. This is the first time he did the deep voice. I thought that deep voice sounded like shit. I hated it. I thought it was horrible. I said if I ever hear it again, I'm skipping. And the rest of the song wasn't bad at all. Just the deep vocals were horrible. And the lyrics were kind of basic. There was nothing super special. I gave it a 0.5. It's a 1.5 out of 4 so far. So we got Ran to Atlanta with Future and Molly Santana. I thought Future carried the fuck out of this, for real. I'm not a big fan of Molly, but Molly was okay. And then Drake was just, I don't know. He just was there. I don't know, dude. He was there. It made it enjoyable enough, but definitely this was a Future song through and through, bro. 2.5 out of 5 so far, so he's an even half, a 50% so far. Shebang. I made a note here that track 6 on a Drake album is always something good. I feel like he does that on purpose because he likes the number 6. I'm sure that y'all have probably noticed the same thing, but anyway. The flow is pretty monotonous after a while, but it was overall a decent song. I gave it a point here. I think I was being a little generous, but it was okay. It wasn't too bad. And then you got Make Them Pay. Drake was being lyrical here. It didn't really sound like he was reading a book this time, so he was sort of picking up his momentum here. I thought things were about to go in a really good direction. I thought this was the start of a really good run for the album. I had it at 4.5. It was kind of redeeming itself. Then we got Burning Bridges. He started talking about this damn beef all over this song. He just, he's got to move on, bro. And that's where it started to get to that point where I was like, bro, is he really going to keep talking about this like 25,000 times? And again, it was a beat that I thought was really good, and it just got buried by a beef that was like old. And then you got National Treasures. I thought that he was floating on it, bro. The flow was pretty good. It was nothing crazy, but it was good. The one thing I didn't like on the song, he had this line, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like something about ink, and he was like, I'm a squid. And I thought that was very strange. So I put it at a 5.5 out of 9. Anyway, I still gave it the point. Then you got Bees on the Table with 21 Savage. So I hated this song. Absolutely hated it. I don't know why 21 was on it. It just was basically a chorus with him saying, bees on the table. Bees on the table. I was like, what is this, dude? This was the first song that I genuinely was just like, what the fuck am I hearing? What is that? So, yeah, you go listen if you want. I don't recommend, but it was bad. 5.5 out of 10. What did I miss? This was like a lead single. He dropped this forever ago. I loved this song, and I was excited for the album when I first heard the song. Of course, he addresses the beef in it, but I still gave it a point just because back when it came out, I really enjoyed the song. I didn't think it deserved to lose any points for that, even though it was talking about the beef. Then we got Plot Twist. I thought that the flow and the lyrics were really good. That's just the recipe you need. If you want to make music, you got to find a way to do good delivery, have good lyrics. That's my opinion of good music. So, I mean, I gave it a point. It was not bad. It was just, he was forcing that accent. That's what was starting to get me a little bit. But I didn't take any points off. I liked it. Too Hard for the Radio. I was really iffy on this one. It feels like it was a throwback, like an attempt at a throwback style song. Again, Drake does not have a voice for a beat like this, in my opinion. It just didn't work. He also had auto tune layering on it that I just thought sounded horrible. It just was out of place. And then he did this stupid ass deep voice, bro. And I was, ooh, I almost just wanted to put no point on it, but I did a half point. Thought that was fair. It was okay. Just nothing I'd listen to again probably, but make them remember. So lyrically, this was good. But then he started talking about the damn beef, bro. And I got sick of hearing it. At this point, I was done hearing about it, bro. I gave it a half point just for the lyricism, and he was doing okay. Just the damn 2-year-old beef, dude. We don't want to hear it. Move on. And then Little Birdie. I don't know if I'm tripping. The mix on Little Birdie was absolutely terrible. It was awful. I'm not like a god at mixing or whatever, but I'm good at it now. And now I can hear bad mixes really, really well. And this song, this song sounded like a joke. It just sounded, it's like, what are you doing? And I think I could have actually enjoyed it, like lyrically and flow wise, it would have been good, but the mix was just awful. I literally put, what the fuck happened here? That's how I felt going out of that one. It's an 8.5 out of 15. I don't know what else to say. Song 16 was Don't Worry. I actually really enjoyed this song. The singing was good. Some of it was a little basic, but it was a vibe, you know what I mean? So who cares? I like this one, and I hate that more aren't like it. And that's my quote for the album. For any good song is like, why couldn't more just be like this? It was a normal Drake song. There was nothing to hate about it. It was just, Firm Friends, which was a lyrical display ruined by being stuck in the past. I thought that was a good line because this is where I really started to notice that this motherfucker is just gone. He is stuck on that beef still. It's been 2 years, I think, right? Or 3, something like that. He had a line that said KYS ASAP, and I just thought that was fucking funny. He's telling these motherfuckers, just kill yourself, please. I'm sick of thinking about you. You're stuck in my head. Just thought that was really funny. I gave it a half point because, again, it was good lyrics, but, bro, the beef is old. Get over it. Make Them Know here was the outro. I knew what it was going to be. The song's called Make Them Know. You just know what he's going to talk about. Before I even pressed play, I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it that much. It was the same kind of problem, the the old drama, bro, that we don't want to hear about. The flow and the lyrics weren't that bad, but, the beef would pop up. Every couple lines or so, he's got to mention something about how somebody's fake and stabbed him in the back or whatever. Bro, get over it. Move on. I gave Iceman a total of a 6 out of 10. I just thought it got ruined by monotony, some boring flows, some boring delivery, and then just the beef. That's the overarching problem with this album, is that he just could not stop talking about the beef. He brought it up so many times. And all the good lyrics and all the good flows and everything just got absolutely buried in the beef talk that I was totally sick of. So, I don't know. Not a good album, man. Not a good album. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I thought that was actually pretty generous. I wanted to lower it after I finished the album, but I did the numbers and rounded. So, it was a 6 out of 10 when I rounded the numbers. I thought that was fair enough. I kind of want to call it a 5 out of 10 to be real with you. But anyway, that's it for this first review. I'm going to move on to the second album now. Okay. Drake Habibti review. This was when I had just figured out that he dropped 3 albums. I was like, wait a minute, he dropped 3? I listened to Iceman. I was not a big fan. And then I was like, wait, there's 2 more albums. I was like, I gotta hear him out. I gotta see if he redeemed himself, right? I have to see. I'm not a Drake hater, but I used to think he was a really, really good artist. So I was like, he's gotta have something, right? He's gotta have something. He started with Rusty, and I was like, bro, what is this? It just sounded stupid. The mix sounded weird. Everything was just off. And this just started out bad. It was a 0 out of 1 right off the bat. Then he had WNBA. It was really, really smooth. I put Iceman should have had more actual music. The beat felt pretty barren towards the end. I will say that. I still gave it a full point, but it was just like, it was okay. I mean, it was a smooth song. I didn't have anything bad to say necessarily. Then we had Slap the City featuring, I don't know how to say her name. We're going to say Quindressa. I don't know if that's right. I thought it wasn't bad. Drake's flow ended up getting a little bit boring. I personally felt like the feature really ruined this one. I don't know who that is, and I hope she's doing good. She might make really good music. Just on this particular song, it felt like she was a little out of tune, and it seems like they tried to layer her vocals and kind of push them into the background to kind of like cover up that she wasn't sounding right, but it just didn't sound right. She sounds like a new artist that's like developing a sound, which, that's fine. I don't hate on new artists or whatever. But I just thought here she didn't perform that well. I kind of want to go check her out, see what she sounds like. But anyways, moving on. High Fives. This is where things got bad. because this song was really boring. And any attempt that he made to switch the flow, he would be like, "Winini Wakimi." It was very strange. Like he just sounded like he was putting on this weird voice, and I don't know why. So I don't know. Hated it. I thought it was just lyrically strange and kind of just missing something. And then we have her Narther, whatever, bro. I hate Sexy Red, dude. I don't like to be a hater of any musical artist, but I just do not like that woman. I don't think she's talented in the slightest. We all know why she is where she is, and I'm not, shout out to all the women out there who work hard to get where they're at. I don't think this is one of them. I'm sorry. Sexy Red, bro. She did awful. I was trying my best to tolerate it. It sounded so stupid, bro. This is a 1 out of 5 so far. Song number 5, we got 1 out of 5, and I removed .5 from one of the older songs because this song was so goddamn terrible, bro, that I genuinely couldn't. It took a point off of the other song. That's how bad it was. It was a negative .5 at least. It probably is more than that. But anyway, I'm Spent Feet, Low Shimmy. I don't listen to Low very much, but I really liked him on this song. I might go check him out. I just thought Drake's dumbass low voice ruined it. There was also this backing vocal, bro. Right now, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it says. I just know it's in the background sounding stupid. It's like, it just doesn't sound right. It sounds dumb. I don't know what they're doing, bro. And then Drake had fucking 4 different voices trying Cardi shit, and it didn't work at all. It sounded stupid. Drake should not do multiple voices. It don't work for him. I thought it was dumb as hell. Anyway, classic. This shit was horrible. It just sounds off. All the voices talking on it were really weird. It sounded like children trying to figure out how to fuck. It was just strange. I don't want to hear that. Is this your first time? Yeah. Like, it was fucking weird, bro. What am I listening to? It's like middle school skit. It was weird as fuck. It was awful. We're at 1 out of 7. Gen 5. It was monotonous as hell. And the singing was just, I don't know. It didn't sound right. It was just like another good beat got wasted. That's what I felt on this one. 1 out of 8. White Bone. I felt like Drake's timing on the delivery at the start especially was really off. He felt like he was drunk or something, or like mumbling like high off something. I don't know. It just didn't feel like a normal attempt at making music. This felt like Drake going in there. I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't know. He sounded like a rookie. It was weird. And then he kind of caught a rhythm. But then when he caught that rhythm and he got that flow, he kept that same exact flow the entire rest of the song. And I was just kind of like, bro, come on now. This sounds like some rookie. This is what rookies do when you're making music. This is what newbies are doing nowadays, especially. Like, they'll catch a little flow and it sounds okay, but it's like, bro, then you just did the same thing. That's it. You just did that. So, I mean, I gave it a half point. I thought that was generous just because he kind of almost saved it, but not really. So, like, I don't know. I gave it a .5. Party Next Door is on this Fort Worth song, and I love Party Next Door. Even Party Next Door couldn't save it. I thought Party carried Drake so hard, and then the Drake parts just felt like they took all the energy out of the song, to me. And then I did not like the beat. Personally, I don't think that was a good beat for either of them. I gave it a no point, actually. I didn't give it any point. It's 1.5 out of 10. Prioritizing. This is the outro of the album. And I sat there scratching my head, what the fuck are you doing, Drake? I sat there like, what is this? It's not, I don't know. The beat was weird. It was like this strange sample that had like no good bass or like no hi-hat pattern that was, I don't know. It was very weird. It was just a strange, I don't know. It just, yeah. He had a line in there, though. I put a comment on here about the gag reflex line. He said something about, you ain't got no gag reflex, and that's crazy. I really like that, but it wasn't enough to save it. This is a 1.5 out of 11, which means overall, basically, we're at a 1 out of 10, bro. And I really mean it. I mean it. That's about as low as my ranking can get. I try to be as fair as I can when I rank shit, and I don't really put on my rankings on Twitter or nothing really often, but like when I do rank stuff, I try to be fair, and this was just awful. It was a genuinely horrible album. Habibti is by far the worst Drake album I've ever heard. I don't know what he was doing. This shit was terrible. From a music artist perspective, I do this shit every day. I do it for some money, you know what I mean? I make money off of this, and I cannot wrap my head around why you even put this out. I don't understand. Awful. My baby's over here dancing to no noise because he's tired of hearing this bullshit. You hear him in the background dancing, shaking his rattle. He finally is done hearing Drake. So am I. Shit. All right. Finally. Drake, Maid of Honor. This is my review. I had already listened to Iceman at this point and Habibti. Iceman got a 6, which was generous. Habibti got a 1, which is generous. Needless to say, my expectations were rock bottom. I just knew this was going to be bad, okay? Ho Phase. I realized this is going to be a dance album right off the bat. I do not like dance albums, but I tried to be as fair as I could. I tried to rate this as if I was a fan of dance albums. I tried my best. In my opinion, Ho Fei is just really repetitive. I didn't like it that much, but I gave it a point 0.5. It was catchy, you know. You could dance to it, whatever. Road Trips. This one wasn't too bad at all. Again, it was repetitive, but that's just, it's dance, so whatever. And I thought I heard Tizo in the back. I love Tizo. Any vocals with Tizo, you know, I had to give it something. I gave it a point. Thought it was good enough to get a point. Catchy, dance worthy. It was cool. And then we had Outside Tweaking with Stunna Sandy. I don't know. It was an annoying beat to start off. Then it switched, and Stunna Sandy hopped on there going absolutely stupid. I thought Stunna Sandy sounded really, really good. I thought she was flowing. She was doing her thing. And then I realized that Drake was getting super duper carried, and I was like, shit, that's a 0.5 at least. I gave it a 0.5. There was also a full minute and 20 seconds of total silence, no vocals. There was a beat and nothing else, and I was like, that's lazy. You couldn't think of nothing else to put there. So then we got Cheetah Print, Sexy Red again. If y'all know me, I hate Sexy Red. Also this weird-ass robot voice going on. I have no clue why they put the song together like this. Thought it was really fucking dumb. I couldn't make it all the way through, and I skipped it. 2 out of 4. Number 5 here had Central C. I had somehow heard this before. I don't know if it was like released as a single. I can't remember. But Central C is always a fun listen. I really enjoyed his part. Drake was okay. And I gave it a 3 out of 5. Amazing Shape with Pop Can. You know exactly what to expect when you see Pop Can on a song. And I was waiting for the Jamaican Drake, my bad. I was waiting for him to make an appearance, you know, and he came out. Pop did what Pop does. He did a good job. It was a very predictable song, but it was okay. It was a fun listen. I gave it a 0.5. So we had 3.5 out of 6. We on BBW. Actually, I like this one. It wasn't too bad. It's just the second half was annoying. I can't even remember what it was because I ended up skipping it because I couldn't finish the song after the second half started. So it lost. It would have got a point, and then that second half was terrible. So go on. It was also very lazy. I don't remember what he was doing, but it was not. There was not anything new or interesting about it. It was just the half that was boring. You got a 0.5. We got True Bestie with Iconic Savvy. And then I put here, see, the problem with dance albums is that they're just so repetitive. And I couldn't find any way to give this any kind of positive ranking. It's just the same kind of thing, dude. It's the same thing over and over and over. So at this point, I'm just sick of it. And then there was an interlude. I didn't count it towards the score. It was just somebody talking. That's it. So it's a 4 out of 8 so far. Then we have New Bestie. He said, wait, like 3,000 times. And at that point, I just got really tired of it. In my opinion, it was just a really bad song. So we had 4 out of 9. Then he has a song called Q&A. And this is where I started thinking about things a little different on this album. I was like, man, if you made a teenager make a dance album, I really feel like you would get something similar to this. This is just not Drake's. This is not up to his standard, bro. I don't get it. I don't understand what happened here. It was monotonous and basic. Nothing at all that could even compete with not an underground artist. Something, it couldn't even compete with a SoundCloud rapper is what I'm trying to say. Stuck. I thought that he tried something different. You know, I gave it a half point. It was not something bad. It was worth the listen, you know. Then he starts repeating this line. I don't remember what it was, but he said it like way, way, way too much. He repeated part of the chorus like so many times I got bored of it. So I still gave it a 0.5. I don't know. It was okay. And then Goose and the Juice, man, I actually really liked it. I gave it a point. This song just feels like it was meant for like the 80s or some shit. Like one of those older type eras. I think it would have went far. I think it would have been a good song for that time. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just, you know, he went for a throwback style, and I thought he did pretty good. Like I said, too little, too late. The album was already terrible to me. So whatever. I gave it a point. 5.5 out of 12 so far. And then he had this song called Princess. And I was really upset because it starts with this cool ass, dark, dirty, gritty guitar. And he tries some new style that I've never heard Drake try before. And I was like, bro, you could have made a whole album trying new things or doing unique songs and having these interesting beats and having these cool things. And I was like, and then I started to realize, why is this on a dance album? I was like, what happened? This final song was nothing like anything else on the album. I gave it a point. It wasn't amazing. I just feel like Drake wasn't capable of what he was trying to pull off, but I still liked that he tried it. I loved it. I love that he tried it. You know what I mean? So I gave it the point. Maid of Honor, out of all the songs, it would get a total 5 out of 10. Just the math is there. 6.5 out of 13. It got a 5 out of 10. That's a 50%. I'm not a fan of dance albums, but with the experimental thing he was trying, I was like, man, he could have went for a variety album or like experimental something. It could have been something more unique and interesting, and I would have loved that. But we got what we got. So I don't know, man. It got a 5 out of 10 for me. I gotta go take care of this baby. Hold on. All right, I figured I'd make one final video, just kind of round out my thoughts on all this. I put that, Drake dropped 3 albums today. My total score for all of them put together would be a 12 out of 30. That's a 4 out of 10. That's a 40%. That's not just a failed test. That's a bomb. That's a grade point average ruiner right here, bro. This is Drake's legacy getting ruined before your very eyes. And I mean that as like a person who, I'm not a Drake hater, but I mean this with all due respect. Drake used to be a GOAT. He has absolutely lost touch. These albums are all flops. They're terrible. 3 albums and they all suck. The most that I could give Iceman was a 6 out of 10, and I was being generous. I was being really generous with Maid of Honor. I gave it a 5 out of 10. Looking back on both of those, I'd lower them both because looking back on it, I'm not listening to them ever again. No, I wouldn't even think about it. I would not even think about it. Not a single song on here feels like I should go revisit it at any time. The closest one would be Dust, the second song on Iceman. That's the closest thing I got to a song I would listen to again. I just thought overall, all the songs were pretty monotonous. Talking about the damn beef 555 times, bro. I don't want to hear about it no more. Move on, Drake. It's hurting your legacy. I'm serious. If Drake somehow were to see this video, it is hurting your legacy. Also, yes, I'm talking my shit. I am a much better artist than Drake. I can comfortably say it now. I'm not a Drake hater, but fuck. I can't find anything redeeming about none of this, bro. And I'm currently working on an album. It's called The Vineyard of Hearts. I'm going to put it out in within a few weeks. You can go listen to it if you want to be critical of me. You're still going to walk away being like, damn, yeah, he kind of shit on Drake. That's just how you're going to feel. I'm sorry. Because that's just the truth. I'm proud to be able to say it. But yeah, 3 albums, all of them were just terrible. I don't know. If you're a Drake fan, you're going to lose sleep. Sorry. You're going to lose sleep for a few weeks probably. Yeah, I hope he gets over the beef. I sincerely hope he does. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. He needs to get over it. I want to see some good Drake albums. I don't want to see none of this again. If I heard that Drake dropped an album tomorrow, I'm not listening. I'm not giving it the time of day.